Have you ever done an internship?
Yes, I have. I did a summer internship at Standard Investment last summer before my final year of university.
What were your responsibilities?
The other interns and I were in charge of gathering data and preparing reports for the financial analysts.
Did you learn a lot during your time as an intern?
I think it was a great experience for me. I got a first-hand look at how a real business operates, and I was able to get some real-world experience. I also learned that I want to work in the finance industry.
It sounds like you got a lot out of that internship. May I contact your manager from Standard Investment?
Absolutely.
You mentioned that your weakness is time management. How can you overcome this weakness?
I think the best way to improve my time management is to make a schedule and then stick to it. I've read many books about time management, and most of them recommend making a schedule and following it as closely as possible.
What do you do if something unexpected comes up?
If that happens, then you simply add it to your schedule. At the end of each day, I sit down and look at my schedule for the next day. If there's anything that needs to be added, then I modify the schedule.
Does this work for you?
It has helped me very much. I've become much better at time management, and many of the problems that I had before have disappeared.
That's good to hear. At our company, we think time management is extremely important. Kevin, how did you find out about this job opening?
I've been interested in working for your company for a while, and I went to your company's website to see if there were any available positions. That's when I saw the job posting for this job.
Why have you been interested in working for our company?
I know that your company has been an industry leader for a long time, and you have a reputation for letting employees be creative.
That is true. We like to give our employees the freedom to work in their own way. We believe it makes them more productive, more creative, and happier.
That's exactly the kind of work environment that I prefer.
How did you hear about this position?
I heard about this position from a friend of mine.
Does your friend work here?
Yes, my friend Vicky works in the business planning and strategy department.
Vicky Brown?
That's her.
I've worked with Vicky on a few projects. She is very bright and talented. How do you know Vicky?
We met in a hiking club. Our group meets twice a month on Sunday to go hiking.
Interesting.
How did you learn about the job opening?
I found out about this job online.
Did you see it on our website or a job search website?
It was a website for job seekers.
And what did you find attractive about this position?
First, your company has a great reputation. That was a big reason why I applied for this job. But also, I thought that my skills and abilities fit the job requirements very well.
How so?
Well, the job posting mentioned that the person must be outgoing and comfortable dealing with all kinds of people. And that is exactly the kind of person that I am.
Great.
How do you deal with pressure?
I think dealing with pressure is one of my strengths. I work very well under pressure and in stressful situations. I think pressure or stress can help us work better and harder. People just need to realize that we can control our stress.
What do you mean by control our stress?
I mean that stress only affects us negatively if we let it. If we remain calm and remember what is truly important in our lives, like family and health, then we can handle these stressful situations much easier.
That's a good answer. Anything else?
Also, I believe that living a healthy lifestyle helps me work better under pressure. If I'm healthy and active, then I feel better. And if I feel better, then I can handle stressful situations more effectively.
I feel the same way.
How do you handle change?
I like to think of change as a new opportunity. It can help me grow and develop as a person.
Was there ever a time at work when you had to make a change that you did not want?
One situation comes to mind. About 3 years ago, I was very comfortable working in the marketing department at my previous company. Then one day, my former boss came to me and told me that the company needed me to move to the business planning team. I did not want to move because I liked my job and coworkers in the marketing department.
How did you react?
I took some time to think about it, and I agreed to move to the business planning team. The business planning team offered me a chance to learn some new skills, gain some new experience, and it was what the company needed me to do.
It sounds like you are a team player.
I try to be.
How do you handle conflict?
I guess it depends on the situation. But in general, I like to stay calm and avoid yelling or fighting. I think if two people have a disagreement, then first they should spend some time apart. Second, they should sit down and discuss the situation. After that, if they cannot come to a compromise, then they should ask their boss or another colleague to mediate.
That is a very specific answer.
Actually, I have a lot of experience dealing with this.
That's right. I see here on your resume that you spent 2 years working in the Human Resources Department.
That's correct. One of my roles when I was working in human resources was to train the employees about how to handle conflict.
That's great.
I learned a lot about people during that time, and what I learned in that job still helps me.
How do you make decisions?
When I make an important decision, I want to make sure that I have as much reliable information as possible. So, the first thing I do is gather information. I do research, talk to people, or whatever I have to do to get the information. Second, I like to make a list of the advantages and disadvantages. This helps me think, and it makes the decision less subjective. Last, if I have time, then I like to give myself a couple of days to think about it before I make my final decision.
Would you say that decision making is one of your strengths?
Yes, I would. I've read many books and taken a few classes about how to make good decisions. I think the decision-making process is something that everyone can study and benefit from.
Do you feel comfortable making quick decisions under pressure?
Yes, I have no problem working under pressure. You can follow the same basic steps that I mentioned earlier, but just shorten the time for each one when you have to make a quick decision.
It seems like you have thought about this topic a great deal. How do you stay healthy?
I try my best to exercise at least 3 times a week, and I try to avoid eating fast food or junk food.
It can be hard to avoid eating fast food or junk food, especially when you have to work long hours. How do you do it?
Every Sunday, I prepare a lot of healthy food and snacks for that week. It saves me a lot of time during the week, and it makes it easier to eat well.
That is a really good idea. I should do that too. You also mentioned you try to exercise. What kind of exercise do you do?
Well, I hate going to the gym, so I try to find some activity that's more fun. I play soccer with my friends and go on hikes on the weekend. During the week, I don't have as much time to exercise, so I usually just take walks with my girlfriend in the evening.
I understand it can be hard to find the time to exercise during the week.
You mentioned that writing was your strength.
Yes.
How has your strength helped you succeed in your career?
Writing has helped me in numerous ways. Most importantly, writing has helped me persuade consumers to use my company's services.
What kind of writing was it?
I was able to persuade consumers through a few different mediums. I wrote a successful online advertisement that led to a 25% increase in sales. I helped write a radio advertisement that my company aired for over 6 months. And I often wrote blog posts for our company's website to show customers how our services could positively affect their lives.
That is very impressive. How did you become such a good writer?
I have always been pretty good at writing, but I have also spent a lot of time practicing and studying how to be a great writer.
How long have you been looking for a job?
I left my previous job 6 months ago, but I've only been looking for a job for 2 months.
What were you doing during the 4 months that you were out of work but not looking for a job?
I was spending time with my family. I have 2 kids who are 7 and 10, and I wanted to spend some more time with them.
I understand. Did you feel like you did not have enough time to spend with your family at your previous company?
Yes, and that's the main reason that I decided to leave. My previous company often asked employees to work up to 80 hours a week.
Well, our company encourages employees to work no more than 60 hours per week. Working overtime is sometimes necessary, but we want our staff to have satisfying lives outside of work as well.
I heard about that, and it's a major reason why I applied for this position. Plus, your company has a great reputation in the industry.
Do you have any leadership experience?
I do have some leadership experience. 2 years ago, my manager had a baby and she took 6 months off for maternity leave. During that time, I was the temporary manager of the sales team.
How did it go?
At first, it was difficult. I had worked with many of the staff members as coworkers for a long time, but suddenly I was their boss. It took some time to get used to, but after a couple weeks, I settled into the position.
What was the biggest challenge you faced and how did you deal with it?
The biggest challenge was making decisions regarding our sales strategy. Every sales member had different ideas about what we should do, but it was my job to come up with a plan for the whole team. I listened to everybody, thought about it for a while, and then I made my decision. After I made my decision, I explained my reasons to everybody.
How did everyone react?
Of course, some people disagreed. I listened to what they had to say, but I was firm in my decision. I was the acting manager, so they needed to respect my decision.